Okay, I'm not even entirely sure what to call this helicopter. It's pretty clearly a WL Toys helicopter because it comes with the WL Toys clearly branded. It comes with the same, physically the same transmitter as the 977, but it's not the same protocol, I don't think. It's a scale model of an AS350. So I don't know what else to call it. We'll call it the WL Toys AS350, I suppose. I don't see another designation for it. It's a three-bladed helicopter, and we do have throttle hold on, and it takes a 500 milliamp hour sort of squarish Molex battery, and it's a bit of a bugger to get the canopy back on with it. The canopy is supposed to sort of go on from the front, slide back, and then retain with little magnets, but it's considerably easier said than done because the battery is sort of pushing against it. I didn't get the battery on, I didn't get the magnet on that side inside. You're supposed to get those two magnets at the back inside, and then that, and that's about as good as I can do. It's tricky. It's not so tricky when there's no battery in there, but it's the battery. The problem is the battery sort of pushes up against the front of the canopy, so getting the canopy on with the battery in place is kind of tricky. You can't push the battery any further back because there's a the little place where it goes in there has a back to it, so you're pushed up against the back of it. So, and I don't have. If you had a 500 milliamp hour battery with a Molex connector that was just a wee bit shorter, it would make life easier, but I don't. I looked around and I don't. Now I have some lower capacity ones that are smaller, but then they're less far across as well. Okay, hair of wind getting up, we need to be careful. Throttle holds on. This is a collective pitch helicopter, yes, clearly you can see I've got throttle hold on and I run the left stick up, you can very clearly see the blades moving there, so it's definitely a collective pitch helicopter. Let's try and carefully spin it up and take it off. Oh, pretty powerful. Of course, the AS350 is the designation of the real helicopter that it's modelled on. It's a scale helicopter and it's a scale model of an AS350. If there's a WL Toys model number other than AS350, I don't remember what it is. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of wind getting up now, which is sort of blowing it around. It's got plenty of power. I don't think there's much danger of getting lost with this one, because you could force it down. See, this is the thing about collective pitch helicopters. They don't just climb without you wanting them to, like as fixed pitch helicopters tend to. And they're more controllable. Fixed pitch helicopters have a terrible tendency to run away in the wind because you just don't have the only way you can bring a fixed pitch helicopter back towards you is to lean it forwards or lean it towards you and put power on, but then that tends to make it climb as well. Sometimes if there's much wind, it only makes it climb. As we saw the other day when I lost the V911, which I found again. But there's something like this is more, it's twitchier, but it's more controllable in that sense, in that you've got more power. There's a real plane there, some sort of real sort of civil aviation plane there. I'm a bit nervous. I don't want to go behind where I'm standing now. I can turn around, it's not that I mind turning around, but the sun's behind me. If I go back there, I'm going to have to contend with the sun, and it's very low to the horizon, so it's going to blind me. So I do not want to look in that direction, that's the problem. So I want to fly at this end of the runway, so I can face away from the sun. So I don't want to fly all the way around me. I don't want to turn at all. I don't mind turning a bit to the left or the right. Well, except the right is basically the flight line with tables and things, so I don't want to go there because we could damage the helicopter and the tables and things. There's nobody around, I'm not going to hurt anybody, but I could certainly hurt the helicopter on the fence and the tables and things. It is kind of windy. Well, how well does he go backwards? Not bad, not quite as well as he goes forwards, but almost as well. Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit here. I'll just let him land like that. I was thinking of trying to land him on the hardboard, but he's a bit twitchy. I haven't got the patience, honestly. Not at the moment. I'm so used to a transmitter that talks to me. I flick throttle hold on and I expect it to say throttle hold on, but only the DX9 does that, of course. Now, see, the canopy's coming off now. It's very hard to get that canopy to stay on properly. That's the big downside of this. He's a beautiful thing otherwise, but when it's got that battery pushing up against the front of the canopy, it's extremely hard to make him, to make the canopy stay on. Brushed, the same thing like a lot of these things, the 977, the 930, brushless main motor, brushed tail motor. If I could just find some shorter, see that's the thing, that the battery, there's wires there anyway, and then the front of that battery there is that piece at the front of the battery there is pressing against the front of the canopy, and it just tends to push it off, as it did there in flight. The flight canopy came halfway off even in flight there, and then you start doing fancy stuff, the canopy might fall off completely in flight, then you'll have to go and find it. Anyway, so a nice helicopter can do a lot more than I was doing with it there. Technically, I mean, it's a collective pitch helicopter, it can actually fly upside down. I don't think I'd want to fly this one upside down, to be perfectly honest, but people do, but then people are much better. That's a train. I wonder what that was behind me. It's a train on the rail. Oh, either a train or some sort of maintenance car. It's something on the railway line anyway. Haven't seen the dogs today. Last time I was here flying helicopters, 2 big dogs turned up. Anyway, so this is a very nice helicopter. People who are really good helicopter pilots who are comfortable doing stunts can actually fly this one upside down. I've seen it flown upside down. I have not flown this one upside down, and I don't think I'd want to. It's pretty twitchy, pretty heavy, rather pretty looking. So I tend to fly it more just as a scale helicopter. I just wish I could get slightly shorter 500 milliamp hour batteries that I could fit in there, so I didn't have this problem with the canopy tending to come off, because it's just held on. See, there's little magnets here, and they're not all that strong. They're relatively strong, but they're not all that strong. As you can see, it came off. I pushed it on as best as I could, and it came off in flight there, and that tends to be the case. It often does that. There you go, the WL Toys AS350. Okay, this is the XK K124, which is a scale model of an EC145 helicopter. This is an XK, although XK and WL Toys are, I believe, the same company now. We do have throttle cut on. This guy has the same problem as the little 3-bladed, the AS350 WL Toys model, in that it's almost impossible to get the perishing canopy to go on properly with the battery in. For me, anyway, I've never... And this is one of the batteries that came with it, that I've got in it. It's actually, I think, a 700 milliamp hour one cell, and I just cannot, and one of my little magnets has already broken off the canopy there, and these things are just loose. These things on the tail, they tend to fall off. He's a nice looking helicopter, but he's a bit hard to make stay together and fly. And this battery probably doesn't have much charge either, but I thought we'd try and give him a look at least. He is collective pitch, see? There's his pitch moving in throttle hold mode. Let's just see if we can get him up and down. I'm not going to fly him much because, as I say, apart from anything else, I'm a bit dubious about as to what the charge in the battery is. I didn't charge it today. Oh, there you go. Okay, it's not got enough power to even spin him up, I'm sorry. I'll see if I can find another battery
Now
that will
let me
do
see if
something.
I can try an XK helicopter that will fly. Not that that's XK's fault, I just didn't have a properly charged battery for the four-bladed one. This is the same transmitter, same XK transmitter. That's the nice thing about these. I think pretty much all these XK helicopters will work with the same transmitter. They're all the same protocol as far as I know. All the XK ones I've got anyway, the Falcon and the Blast and the and that four-bladed one. This is the K110 Blast, as they call it. This is a more conventional sort of non-scale helicopter with a I've got a 510. I think it comes with a 450 or a 500. I've got a 510 stick battery in, 520 stick battery in there. This guy, well, he should work. That battery has just been charged, so that should work. Oh, the wind is really starting to get up now, though. It's getting towards the end of helicopter time today. Collective pitch again. There's your collective moving. As we, same deal really. It's a lot similar to the WL Toys V931. Bit twitchier from what I remember. Brushless main motor, brush tail motor, collective pitch. Famous last words. Well, that's weird. Oh, yeah, I bet I know what's causing that. Famous last words. Yeah, what tends to cause that with these things is that the main gear is just pushed on and it tends to come loose. Let's see if that works any better. A little bit. It probably is still not where it should be. The main gear on the bottom of the main shaft is pushed on, and it's not held on by a screw or anything. So it tends to slide down, and then when it slides down, the shaft just rides up, so you can't get any positive pitch. Yeah, they do that all the time. Several of these, the Falcon does it. I think all these SK helicopters tend to do that. And the solution, well, the solution would be if they put a bloody screw in so you could tighten the thing up, but they don't. So the solution is just to push the main gear back up. Try and push the main gear under friction up so it's snug up against the bottom of the frame, which I wouldn't say it necessarily is now. I've probably got less positive pitch than I should have now, because I don't think I got that main gear quite as snug as it should be, because I was trying to do it with the battery in place. But it's flying. And it would probably fly better if I got the main gear in place better. I've got a spare main gear for it, but it's not that the main gear is broken or anything, it's just a friction fit on the bottom of the shaft. And there is nothing wrong, essentially, with this helicopter, although I think if it came to a choice, I tend to recommend buying the WL Toys V977 over this. I think it's a little bit more adaptable and capable and whatever. And now they're all the same company. Nothing wrong with this at all. It's you know, and I'm not doing much with it, I know. It's never want to fly helicopters into yourself. You can hurt yourself. It's the winds. The wind is blowing. It's actually blowing it away from me, but I was correcting for the wind, and then the wind died down. Batteries about had it well with this reduced pitch. We've not got much pitch anyway, and the battery is. We've not got much pitch and it's running out of battery, so with the reduced pitch it's not able to keep itself up, and it's getting fairly windy now. You can see the windsock moving. Not really, see, that's what I mean about the main gear. And there should be, well, there should be a bit more of the main shaft than that protruding out the bottom of it. Because, I don't know, that main shaft doesn't seem to be moving now, not really. Oh, it is a little bit, yeah, see. Yes, there is a little bit of play in that main shaft. And you really don't want play in that main shaft particularly. It should be held in that, no, it should be held in that position. Well, it should be held with the main shaft in that position and the gear in that position. So that main gear should be pushed a little more snugly on, and it is just as you can see. There's well, you can see, it's hard to get the light in there. Yeah, see, it's just a friction fit. There's nothing, there's no screw or anything holding it in place, and it will tend to keep sliding down, so you don't get positive pitch. Anyway, so a very brief flight. I'm just trying to unhook myself from the transmitter here. A very brief flight from the of the XK110. Okay, last but not least with the helicopters today, a really weird helicopter, the YD117 Green Storm. 4-channel single blade RC helicopter without aileron. I'm not even sure what on earth they mean. Oh, they mean without flybar, I think. Well, because without aileron doesn't mean anything. I think they mean it's flybarless. I don't even know who makes this. I do not know. Weirdo Attop, professional manufacturer. It says Attop, manufacturer of a RC helicopter. I do not know. It's no, it's a brushed motor, this one. Brushed main motor, brushed tail motor, fixed pitch, flybarless. Have to say I don't remember how this flies, and it's fixed pitch and the wind's getting up, so we probably want to be pretty darn careful with it. But we'll see if we can get it in the air at least vaguely. But we don't see it's wandering off immediately because it's fixed pitch and there's quite a bit of wind, and we're not going to let it wander far. If it wanders at all far, we're just going to drop it in the grass because I don't want it wandering. Probably, you could say, more suitable for it because it's fixed pitch, more suitable for indoor flying. But well, without, you know, it's getting a bit windy now. Without wind, you could fly them okay outdoors, I'm sure. You know, this was just one that I saw on some internet site. I don't even remember where I bought it from. It might have been eBay, might have been GearBest, might have been Banggood, I don't know, one of those, or TomTop, might have been TomTop. TomTop sometimes come up with some weird things. And I'd never heard of this. It may be a rebranded version of something else, or it may not, I'm not sure. If it is, I don't know what it is. It doesn't actually look exactly like anything else I have, so I'm almost thinking they really are a genuinely different company. As I say, it's bee or something flying in my face there. Yeah, I've crashed planes before because of insects trying to fly up my nose, but what was I going to say? 2 brushed motors, fixed pitch, flybarless, so you know it's obviously got computerized, because basically fixed pitch helicopters really don't fly without a flybar unless they've got something to stabilize them. So he's got some kind of, oh, that wind's really getting up now. That wind is really getting up now. Don't want to let him get, never want to let a fixed pitch helicopter get too high, because your ability to bring them back towards you is limited, and if they get too high, that'll do. That's good enough. In this wind, I'm not going to fuss about trying to bring him now. I don't think he does have throttle cut, so I just have to make sure I hold the throttle down very firmly when I pick him up. Oh, it has a button that says speed on it. I don't know what that does. Rates or something, probably. I don't think I'm going to try it again now the wind's getting up. You know, I mean, it's kind of a cute little helicopter in its own. Attop RC hobby. That's YD117, and it came with that. That's the battery that came with it. It's a 300 milliamp hour Molex connector. All of these little Chinese helicopters seem to use Molex connectors, and they're all the right way round, except for, who is it? There was one company that used to use reverse Molex, I think.
axe, I think it wasn't. It used to use reverse mole axe, but most of them are the right way round. Yeah, there's the motor. I don't know. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. It flies okay. See, this guy at least has a screw holding his main motor on. Why XK can't do that, I don't know. The main gears on the XK, unfortunately, don't have any screw on, and they tend to work loose all the time. This guy's got a little grub screw which will hold the main gear in place. Anyway, there you go. The YD17. Oh, no, the one thing I was going to say is it's a bit hard. That battery, the problem is the battery bay is a bit of a funny size, so fitting any other battery in there may be a bit tricky. You got more length, but you've not got much width and a lot of depth, so he's a bit fiddly about what batteries you're going to be able to fit in there. There you go, the Attop RC YD117 fixed pitch single rotor helicopter.